couple sounds that I enjoy. I really enjoy the call of the loon, which they're named that, I think, because their call sounds kind of like a crazy person. But there's something about being out on a lake and hearing loons calls back and forth, and just being in a place where loons are. They only live in really deep, usually glacial lakes, as far as I know, and it's probably a connection with just the special feeling of that location. But I really have a strong connotation with loons. And another one would be the crunch of snow underfoot, and all the different variations of that, whether it's fresh snow or old snow, or it's got that icy crystal layer on top. There's a whole range of sounds you can get, and I like them all. And I think that's also a situational thing. A lot of memories with snow and sound. Another question for you all. This one's coming from Petey's video, where he talked a little bit about his Dick and Balls organizational method, which you should really get a patent on that name, or a copyright, I should say. But my question is, how do you all organize things, either in your computer or in your life, just in general? And do you have a consistent way that you see yourself organizing things across many different areas, or is it really, does it depend on the medium for you? I think for me, I try to organize things in my brain as much as possible, and it's not always the best choice, but I think the reason I do it is because I have a real aversion to technology in some ways. I think that there are things that human minds are supposed to do, and if we stop doing them, we're going to lose a lot of ability in a lot of other areas. I just have this kind of future vision in my head of a world where nobody can do anything because they have exported all of their abilities to machines and robots and things like that. And that's not something I'm interested in. I think being able to do things for yourself is really important to me. And so I think that's probably why my organizational system is the way it is. It's not always effective. I'm not going to show you what my room looks like right now, because it's you would not enjoy it. But that's, I don't know, I think that's where I'm coming from. So I'm curious what you guys have to say. Also, Petey, I use Duolingo as well, and I speak Italian. I learned it in college and studied in Italy for a year, and so I'll just give you one choice Italian phrase right now, and the hand gestures are really what it's all about. So we'll go, perché rompi il mio coleone, eh? Alright, and books. I just finished 2 books, so I'm kind of in between right now. And they're very different. This one, Running with Scissors, was basically a memoir of this author's terribly fucked up childhood and growth into a relatively sane adult. I won't say that I really enjoyed this. I'm glad that I read it, but it was a hard read just because it is kind of a true look at some very dysfunctional people. I think they made a movie out of it, which I would never want to see the movie. And this book, Janapar, the subtitle is Love on a Bike. This was a Kickstarter campaign that I backed, and this guy took off from England and had the intention of riding around the world on his bicycle, and ended up falling in love, and his plans got derailed, changed quite a bit. It's the story of that. There's a movie associated with it too, and I'm hoping that this guy is the author is gonna come and show the movie and present it here in Missoula at a house where I used to live. So that would be really swell, because I enjoyed this book. It's pretty thick, but it's a great story, and I'm planning some bike trips of my own, so a lot of it resonated with me. I think, oh, I got one more card here. Jen, I don't have a whole lot of advice for you about how to stay unaffected by negativity. It's hard because you are really affected by the people that you spend time with, and you know, if they're dragging you down, it's hard to stay, you know, afloat as a buoy and to help them work through what they're working on. One thing that I thought of is I went to Australia when I was in high school for a student exchange program, and to New Zealand as well. And so we stayed at this place in New Zealand, and the owner was a venture climber kind of guy, and also a motivational speaker of sorts. So there were 20, 25, 11th graders listening to this guy Paul talk, and he talked about the reticular activating system, which is, I think it's a legitimate concept, but it's basically a part of your brain that's wired to filter out information, and so you have a lot of effect on that. And this goes to what Becky Louise was saying. If you wake up and you say, today's going to be a great day, or everything is going well right now, your brain and your reticular activating system are going to find evidence to back up that claim, and so you're going to focus a lot more on the positive things in your life than on the negative things. Whereas if you start off the day and say, today's going to be a terrible day, why is everything going wrong right now, you're going to pick out all the examples that you see throughout your day that fit that model of what you think the world should look like, and you're going to focus on those. So his point was that you really can be intentional about setting the tone of your own life, and that does resonate with me. I think that that's a powerful idea. He also told us that there's two kinds of people in the world. There's people who live above the line, there's people who live below the line. And the people who live below the line give him the shits. So don't give Paul the shits, live above the line. That's my advice. What else I got here? Also, I don't know if it's possible, but if you can help other people deconstruct their negativity, get to the bottom of it. I'm sure that's what you're doing when you talk with them about their problems, but you can really break down where these feelings are coming from and help them to, be able to take control of their own feelings in that way and work through their problems. That could help. But as Becky Louise said, you should feel honored that people are coming to talk with you about your problems, and I hope that that you can get the nourishment that you need too. This is probably the longest video I'll ever make. There were just a lot of questions that I wanted to answer, and I've been talking and talking and talking, and so I'm gonna stop.